Welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Liz Whitaker from the internet.
Welcome back, Liz.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for venturing off the internet into the real world briefly to deal with.
Yes.
Although for most people, this will still be on the internet. So as far as they know, you're a simulation or something. But
That's true.
That's true.
It's true. I was going to say, as far as we know, you're a simulation, but I'm pretty sure you're real. We've seen you in person before, and so I think it looks like you're the same person, but it could just be a very hyper authentic.
Very advanced Android technology.
Yeah.
That no one else knows about.
It's top secret. It's top secret stuff. It's not top secret stuff. Minute 116. 116 of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. 116 starts with Hux finding a dead body, and it ends with Kylo Ren telling Hux that the Supreme Leader is dead. We'll start with a question.
Yes.
How many pieces is Snoke in?
Well, let's
I'm
see.
notoriously bad at counting, so
It's like count the jelly beans and you win a prize. How many pieces is Snoke in?
are we playing this Price is Right rules? Can I just go 2?
2. Alex, what do you say?
Well, do you know the exact answer, or are you just going by what you saw in the film?
I'm going by what I saw in the film.
Okay. I'm going to say he's in 4 pieces.
My guess was 4 also, because it looks like it cut through his arms and his torso. So one arm each, and then the top half and the bottom half.
I'm not sure about his right arm, though.
Yeah.
That's the only one. You can't see it quite so.
Yeah. Was he reaching out?
I don't recall.
Touching me? Touching you? No? Yeah, I was trying to look. I don't think so. I think he was still kind of hunched over, leaning, and
Yeah.
I don't think he was reaching with a hand. So I don't think there's a hand attached to that. But
Not since Anakin Skywalker have we seen someone so dememberfied on the screen.
Dememberfied? While we're on the topic,
I'm assuming.
I do want to. I meant to do this at the top of the show. Is kind of, it's not quite an apology, but it's a note that so many of the things that we talked about and hypothesized about last week seem to have been addressed or kind of at least noted in deleted scenes. I watched some more of the deleted scenes on the Disney Plus.
Update us.
There was a whole scene, and you were right. There was an extended. Tell your sister you were right about the extended fight between.
You said I was right.
Between Phasma and Finn.
Yeah.
Liz, have you watched any of the deleted scenes?
I'm sure I watched them all right after I bought the digital release when it came out.
Yeah, they at least on Disney Plus, they have them, most of them kind of by themselves, and then with Rian Johnson commentary talking about why they got cut. And so they really get further into that battle where they're kind of alone, and Finn is surrounded by stormtroopers with Phasma kind of bearing down on him. And she's telling him he's useless, and he was like, well, you're the one who, when I put a gun to your head, you shut down the force field on Starkiller Base. And she gets panicked. She's like, who would believe that? And all the stormtroopers are just kind of and they turn on Phasma.
Wow.
And she takes them all out, and then it leads to a little bit more of a battle, and it makes more sense. I think I like it better. I mean, it's hard. I said that whole sequence should be cut, but they also was a whole scene about why. Remember, we noticed that Rose's necklace is prominently displayed over her outfit there. That's because it was in her pocket and or in her hand, and it fell out when they were kind of shoving her to the ground. And Hux, speaking of Hux, picked it up and gave her a hard time about it and put it on her neck. And when he put it on her neck, Rose bit his hand. Yeah.
Wow. I remember the biting.
Yeah. And they even, it's interesting to hear Rian Johnson talk about it. It's like there's so many things where it's just like, yeah, it didn't work, and we wanted to get back to this other scene quicker. And I'm like, I don't know, I like a lot of these cut scenes and these alternate takes on things.
But I guess it's already the longest Star Wars movie, so
yeah. But
so what's another 5 seconds?
Yeah,
where you get to see Rose bite Hux. I think that's worth it.
Yeah, neither one of these was like really that long of a scene. It's like, all right, what is it? What's the difference between 100 and what do we got? 136 or 140? What? Who cares?
Yeah. Well, how about this? Why not cut out all of Crate, and that way that's a good 10-minute chunk that you could now add in these other scenes. That I'd much rather see the Phasma. I feel like that stuff has much more. I like that better because it has to do with the characters we care about, as opposed to a bunch of CGI animals running loose in a casino. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, you mean Canto Bite, not Crate?
Wait, Canto Bite or Crate?
Oh yeah, sorry, that's what I
was
meant.
like, wait, you want to cut out the Luke fight?
How are you going to end the movie?
Start over.
Yeah. I was like, Luke has to die somehow.
Spoilers.
Well, I would have done like an Endgame Infinity War type thing. If I was Rian Johnson, I would have split this up into 2 movies and had this be episode 8 and episode 9, and then
and everybody would
done a Hobbit.
Yeah,
Hobbit that stuff. Everybody would have been cool with that too. He'd be like, you know what? Episode 8 is going to be 2 pieces. And then, sure.
Yeah.
Also change the frame rate on it. People loved it.
Oh yeah.
People would love it.
Yeah. I would seeing it in the high frame rate 3D, that's an experience. We should totally I missed out on that.
So it sounds like we screwed up. Not doing our due diligence is what I'm saying.
It's timing. Timing was off.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made. Timing was off. I should have watched those deleted scenes before. But I was actually watching them for something that comes up in this week of minutes. So in this batch of minutes, I will address, unfortunately not a deleted scene. I was looking for a deleted scene, hoping there was more stuff, but there's some behind-the-scenes info that I will want to address. Oh, no, and there is a deleted scene, too, so we'll see. We'll see. Right. We're talking a lot about the extras.
Yes. Well, so with getting back to Dismembered Snoke, the part where his body like flumps, or Hux is standing there, and then you see his body kind of like flump forward.
Yeah.
I think it seems so funny. It seems so fake, but really funny to me. So I'll allow it. I think it's such a nice little sort of like punctuation mark on the whole thing. Like his humiliation is not quite complete. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It does seem unrealistic that it would be, the ship would have been almost bisected and he would still be just kind of like leaning there for a minute, and then it would only fall out later when nothing seems to be going on. But it's okay. It's worth it.
It was the weight of Hux's stare that just pulled it.
Oh, wow.
Pulled it out of the chair.
The photons. That.
Yeah.
Are you saying Hux is force sensitive? Because that really changes everything.
No, I was just thinking more of just like he's just got a lot of gravity. He's like a black hole. He just gravity. He just sucks the
You're drawn
light
to him.
out of every room he's in and pulls everything towards him.
Are you generally pro Hux? Pro Hux, Liz? What's your feelings generally?
Think I did not understand Hux in the first movie, and then I saw this movie, and I was like, I get it now. Okay, I get Hux now.
We were on the same escape pod together in that one.
I like the over-the-top campiness of how Hux plays. Hux is not playing himself. Of how
is he, though?
Domhnall Gleeson plays the character.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he understood the assignment better than the audience did at first, which was good. He knew what was up. I wonder if originally we've been speculating a lot about what was done as a reaction to other things in terms of behind the scenes stuff. And lots of people have come in to correct us on things that we're wrong about, which happens a lot. But I wonder how much of Hux, like, did Rian Johnson see enough of Hux to be like, oh, okay, this will be good, and like really ramp it up in this, or Domhnall Gleeson to be like, did they kind of be like, all right, you know what, let's take it up, let's make it a 10, or was that just kind of always intended? Who's doing the work here? They both are. It's a collaboration, I guess. But
Well, I guess part of it would depend possibly on when the script might have very well been in process before they even finished before The Force Awakens was released, right? Isn't that
Right.
Like, wasn't the last scene of The Force Awakens? Didn't they consult with Rian Johnson and say like, okay,
he was there.
We wanna, like to make sure that it would jive with what he was doing and stuff. So,
but yeah, I think that again, one of these days we'll have a full as they release more behind the scenes stuff, we'll have like a full reckoning of like what happened when.
Well, I think also the fact that Rian Johnson leans on the humor with every character in the story.
Right.
Like every character in the story is makes jokes. Shouldn't be a surprise that they move Hux into a more exaggerated, cartoony, villainy kind of thing.
Right.
So again, not in a negative way. I'm very pro Hux in this, in this regard. I also getting back to the dismemberment of Snoke for a second, as I keep wanting to do.
You're just gonna harp on that, huh?
Well, it's funny that you see his hand there, still sitting on the throne, and it reminded me that since this movie is the Empire Strikes Back parallel, I guess that's like the equivalent of like Luke's hand. So I wonder if there'll be like speculation if someone like whatever happened to Snoke's DNA? Can someone out clone Snoke? Maybe Snoke, well, like Luke, but Snoke,
Snooky.
Yeah. Anyway, for all we know, there could be 100 Snokes still out there that he cloned, and like they're living on a planet together.
That would be crazy.
Reality show, all the Snokes living together.
Snokehouse.
Snokehouse. There you go. Perfect. That is all I have to say about Snoke's dismemberment, so we can now move on to the remaining 59 seconds of the film.
I was just glad I got a minute that still had Snoke in it. I don't know if you can tell or not. I am wearing my Snoke New Year's Eve party dress from 2017.
Nice.
That I decided to like Disney bound as Snoke for New Year's Eve.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I parted my hair really severely to match his cranial scarring, and I found.
So you really did it to look like him. It wasn't just like in your.
Oh no! Hang on. I have I hand beaded this belt so it would look like the belt on his robe.
Wow, that is the attention to detail. That
because I couldn't find anything, and I embroidered some shoes.
Wow!
Did you do any like crazy makeup, like how his face is kind of saggy on one side? Well,
it was still New Year's Eve,
so
and I was still going out.
Yeah, it wasn't Halloween.
So yeah.
Although New Year's Eve, you might even get to a certain point where
it's true.
I mean,
you're a little more Snooky than usual.
It might have unintentionally happened by the end of the night.
Yeah,
but I definitely made a lot of friends. Just somebody would compliment my outfit, and I'd be like, "I'm Snoke from the new Star Wars," and everyone's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "No, do you remember the guy?"
Yeah.
No, okay. Well,
and the night ended. The night ended with your face laying on the ground with your tongue sticking.
Right, yeah.
So then I would like pull out I'd like, here, hang on, I have a picture on my phone that I used for reference. You remember him now?
See?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Definitely
call your brother. He's gonna love it.
You just reminded me that I was supposed to wear gold pajamas at one point this season, and I forgot.
Well, now it's been done.
Thank you for picking that up and running with it. Whereas I,
how about this? Let's do it on the weekend show. That will give someone an incentive to sign up for the Patreon. You get to see Pete wearing his gold pajamas.
We'll see.
Anyway, another good Hux gag is where he sees Kylo Ren laying there unconscious, and he reaches into his jacket like he's about to shoot him, and then once he wakes up, he puts it away, snivelingly.
Yeah,
it's a really great gag.
Hux. Yeah, that got a good chuckle in the theater. Definitely, I remember, which is a good after wanton destruction and violence of the last several minutes. But there's also, do we think that Kylo Ren woke up because he was in danger. Was that like his spidey sense going off? That
Oh.
like Hux was about to pull a gun on him and he had like, huh.
It is eerily similar to when Luke was about to kill him in the Jedi school. So maybe that is his superpower. He became a very light sleeper after that.
Yeah. That's a good force power to have, is waking up when somebody's about to kill you in your sleep.
You know, Darth Plagueis. Things would have been totally different if Darth Plagueis had had that had that superpower. But anyway, miss you, big guy. So Hux then asks, "What happened? Like, what's going on here?"
Yeah, I have some issues because first Snoke says, like, what happened, and he's all, and Kylo gives him a little bit of an explanation. But then Kylo kind of looks around.
He says the girl killed her.
Right, which is not entirely true, but then also like he looks out the window kind of and says like, what happened, in a way that sounds dubbed and off to me. It sounds dubbed and it might not. I would not be surprised if it wasn't Adam Driver.
But, are you definitely sure that that's what he says?
No, that's how much it's off. What does he say?
Did they record it thinking he was gonna have his? Did they do ADR and he had his mask on in that scene, and then they decided he wasn't wearing his mask?
I don't know. I found it perplexing because it sounds off and it sounds redundant. That he was like, why would Hux just asked him what happened. He answered, and then he asked Hux what happened. It seems.
Well, he did just get knocked out after having a fight. I could forgive him being a little out of it.
Yeah.
I do remember when I was watching the minute having some trouble with the line and rewinding it, and I didn't write down what it said, but I thought it somehow was referencing what happened to her, because he says she took the shuttle, she took his pleasure craft and escaped.
Right.
So I was thinking maybe he was asking what happened to her.
Yeah, basically, but I don't know. It seems either way, it doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah, I bet there was a deleted scene that explains why.
There you go. I just didn't watch the deleted scenes far enough forward. I should.
That's far enough.
Yeah. So I don't. It's an unusual line to me when this is at the minute by minute nitpicky level. Yeah. These are the things where I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like him. I should have watched it with the subtitles on. Would have made sense, wouldn't it?
From a certain point of view. So he says that she got away in Snoke's escape craft.
Yeah.
Which I think is, we don't see that ship ever, do we?
No, I don't think so.
I think next time we see her, she's already on Crate.
Yeah, in the Falcon. Hopefully it is also coffin shaped so it can fit into the escape pod port in the Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
It would make sense for those kind of things to be modular, where, like a spare tire. You could just put any escape pod in anything. But
it's I'm only disappointed
that's not
it's
how spare
not
tires
his throne.
Work.
I would want I want his throne to transformer shift into, and his throne come up around him and encase him.
Didn't Austin Powers do something like that, where he does this time travel machine? Wasn't it? Anyway,
I think so. Yeah, Dr. Evil's didn't an egg pop up around his chair or something like that? And
I feel like we've seen an escape throne before, but yeah, Snoke totally should have it.
Right, or at least the button drops the throne into a cockpit or something like that. I agree. I think you're right. It should have been, because it looks like he doesn't like to move as is. We know
right.
That.
Yeah, and that's a giant ship, so you just take a smaller ship out of the giant ship.
Right.
I think his escape craft should be like a pharaoh sarcophagus, and that it looks like him from the outside sitting in a throne, flying through space, and he's inside it in that exact same position. So
right.
That Jack Kirby character whose name escapes me. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I was thinking Micronauts, but that's not it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that line bothered me, but that was it.
How about the one where Kylo Ren starts telling him what to do, and Hux gets all huffy and says, "We have no ruler. You would dare to tell me what you boss me around and rah, 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 and he starts getting huffy about Huxy about Kylo Ren bossing him around.
Yeah, it's a real missed opportunity. He's complaining about being bossed around, and then he's like, you've been abusing my army, my whatever. And instead of saying, I'm in charge now, he's like, there's no one in charge.
Yeah, it's kind of asking for, like, who are we going to get to be in charge? Maybe he thought,
he was hoping for he was like fishing for the nomination.
Right.
Yeah. It would have to be someone with a lot of military experience. Maybe a cool uniform already. If they already have one, great.
Used to speaking in front of crowds.
Yeah. Well, you can see his... I don't know. I understand it. It doesn't make sense from a logistical point of view that it would be, Kylo Ren's essentially, he's not part of the army. He's essentially like a freelancer, like an independent contractor, a consultant, who then is just like, I'm taking over. And I don't know. I see what, although it would have been funny to be like, to have him be like, yeah, well, nobody's in charge. Who's going to run this? And Kylo Ren would be like, you're right. And then they cut to somebody we've never met before who's just like, general.
And then Richard E. Grant shows up.
Right.
Vice Supreme Chancellor.
Right. Hello? Yes, this is the Vice Chancellor.
Oh, let's get Julia Louis-Dreyfus to be the...
Oh, there you go.
So this is also an interesting... suppose at the end of Return of the Jedi...
Pose at the end of Return of the Jedi?
Yes, if you see him, he's really in the background. There's like a little kid. They put him in digitally.
That guy's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suppose Darth Vader did not get fried at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And was totally just, I'm regular Darth Vader. My hand's still cut off, but other than that, I'm in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he would have done what Kylo Ren does here? Like been like, all right, now we can... could he have then taken over the Empire?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would have been useful if he had not. Then he could have, told them all, hey, everybody stand down,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, which, I mean, we have the First Order essentially because there were a lot of pockets of the Empire that then went off and these rogue factions. So would have been useful if he had stayed alive and be like, hey guys, it's me, Darth Vader. Just everybody chill and we're gonna work things out and await further orders.
But I could easily see
it's exactly how it would have gone. That was my jam.
I promise I'm not a rebel in a helmet. Totally legit, guys.
My armor's white now, but I'm still a bad guy. Don't worry about it.
Just trying something out, for summer. It's a lot cooler.
But you can't help but think that there would have been a cabal of admirals who were like, okay, now we got to get rid of this Darth Vader guy. Much the same way that 100%. Hux wants to get rid of, Hux. So,
I think there always are. There are always people who are just, waiting for an excuse to get rid of, the weird guy.
As much as it would probably humiliate Anakin to think so, probably a good chunk of Vader's intimidation is the fact that he's the Emperor's pet. So it's not like even if you got into a fight with him, his boss, your boss is still his, he is still his owner. So that's a no-win situation if you're going to take on Vader. He doesn't need to go around choking people because he has the power of the Emperor behind him if he wanted to, Boy, Palpatine's sure not going to like to hear about what a chick you're being.
Yeah, who would be his enforcer? He'd have to have who's Darth Vader's enforcer?
Oh, now I'm picturing that scene because in movies like an audition tryout scene is always great. So I would love to see that. Darth Vader auditioning new henchmen, new enforcers.
I'd like to see like a Star Wars version of The Office where Vader is like kind of like the head of Dunder Mifflin who only comes in every now and then and does stuff, but for the most part it's like people competing to see who's going to be either not piss off Vader or I like that.
So like Dengar is Michael Scott and
wait a minute, Dengar is Michael Scott.
I'm interested. Keep going. Yeah. What do we got here?
Okay, let's see. Like IG-88 is Dwight,
Hmm.
or is IG-88 too cool to be Dwight?
He's more like a Creed.
Maybe like Masamita is Dwight.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Masamita. There you go. That would make sense because if
he's a political climber.
Yeah. Assistant to the regional manager.
Right. For life. For life.
So the scene culminates in Hux being choked by Kylo Ren.
Yes.
And he looks so like great when he's like all pale and his lips are all pink and he just looks so he really looks like he's in rough shape there. It's the most Mahdi, at least, I don't know, kept maintaining some level of dignity or whatever, but you definitely know Hux wet himself in this moment.
Well, Mahdi looks like he's been outside before, and Hux looks like he's just never ever seen any sun on any planet.
He was raised on a starship.
Yeah,
the
pasty
planet Veal.
People just they always look like they're on the edge of expiring, and so when they're playing, when they are actually being choked.
That was my first note for tomorrow. Is great job of choking and going pale, because he really does kind of get that. Like, do you think he watched the Mahdi scene? Was he like, okay, when people choke in Star Wars, what do they do? Like, do you think he went and studied it, or is he just like, I could do choking?
That, and also there's a lot more. Empire certainly is the Vader at his peak of force choking people, so
right,
that would be a good
compare
and contrast.
Mahdi was married to Ursa at the time, right? And she was sick of him. She was like, he just kept throwing up from practicing choking too much.
Wait, are you talking about the actress who played Ursa in Superman 2 was married to the guy who played Admiral Mahdi?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not saying about in universe.
In universe.
I was like, wait.
Mahdi's wife was Kryptonian.
Was named her name was Ursa, and she used to complain about how often her husband just came home sick.
Yeah.
Mahdi always telling that. I bet he told that story a lot. Did I ever hear I was choked by Darth Vader one time? Then he would recreate it.
And I apologize in advance, but I have to say, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, Ursa Mahdi.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.